Hello, friends. How are y'all doing? Good, I'm glad to hear that. I hope you don't mind. We're gonna film this video I'm gonna be holding the camera because I feel like this is more intimate than like this. You know, I don't wanna talk to you. I wanna talk with you. I wanna be with you in this conversation. So a little birdie told me, or my intuition, my gut, is kind of telling me that you might be in a toxic relationship. Now, I don't mean necessarily with a partner, with a spouse. Maybe it's a friendship. Maybe it's someone else that you know, a relative. All I know is that you might be in a toxic relationship. You may know it, you may not know it, you may not do anything about it, you may want to do something about it. That's what this is going to be about. I want to help y'all leave your toxic relationship. It's not necessary. We don't need it. We don't need it. I was on the phone with my friend Zaria, who I went to FSU with before I transferred. And, to start this off, I want to give you the quote that she told me because we were talking about this matter, about toxic relationships, friendships, all of that. And the quote that she said, I wrote it down, is that we're raised with the idea that everyone who comes into your life is there forever. But when you get older, you have to realize that some relationships are temporary. Now, this is obviously very true because a lot of the time, you don't think about what forever really means when you're younger. That's not really something you're considering in the back of your head. You just meet people, you know people, you have these relationships with people, and you just expect them to last. When you get older, you realize some of them come, some of them go. And I think it's kind of hard for people, but it's normal. That happens. That's life. And that's how it's supposed to be. Now, obviously, sometimes they go or come forcefully or not forcefully. So sometimes you actively are working to end that relationship because it needs to be ended, and that's fine. Sometimes they just come and go peacefully. Nothing really happened between you and the person. They just kind of ended. Again, whichever way this happens, it's okay. If it needs to happen, it needs to happen. If it does, then it does. But kind of shifting to a toxic relationship, if you're in one or if you know someone who is in one, these are some signs that can kind of show you that you are experiencing one, that you should be leaving it. One is a lack of reciprocity. This is pretty standard. If you are giving more into a relationship than someone else is, or if they're giving more into a relationship than you are, that is a toxic relationship, my friend. That is not good. You shouldn't be staying in this. And it's not benefiting either of you, no matter who's getting more or less. Both of you are suffering, both of you are struggling. Reciprocity is key in any relationship, platonic or romantic. And if that's not there, the relationship needs to be cut off. Another sign is kind of ties in with the first one, but if one person is using the other for personal gain, again, pretty standard, pretty easy to understand. If you are being used, if you are being manipulated just so the other person can receive whatever power or gain that they're looking for, or vice versa, toxic, girl, leave. It's not benefiting anyone. That's all I have to say about that. The next one's one that Zaria also gave me, kind of reminded me of, is when relationships are unbalanced. So if someone loves the other person more, the other person loves that person more, toxic. Less so I would call these toxic. I would call these more just not beneficial to either party. I mean, it's supposed to be a mutual thing. And if someone is kind of like what I said earlier, putting in more effort, or you can just tell it's not balanced and one person definitely cares more, it is going down the wrong path fast. It leads nowhere good, I promise you that. The next one is instinct or intuition. Now this sign isn't necessarily something that the person's doing, more so looking into yourself. Let's count how many times in my channel as a whole I say that trust your intuition. I say that all the time, and it's because I believe in it. I think your gut is very powerful. Like I always say, more powerful than you probably give it credit for. And if you feel something's wrong, if you feel kind of iffy about something, that's a sign that you're in a toxic relationship and you need to cut it off. Next one, poor communication. If they're gaslighting you or you're gaslighting them, if there's no honesty, those are pretty common. That's why I kept them last. I don't have really much to say about those because, again, basic to understand. If there's poor communication and y'all can't fix it, there's no way that y'all can communicate better, toxic, end it. If they're gaslighting you or you're gaslighting them, toxic, end it. If there's no honesty or trust or anything, toxic, end it. Easy enough, right? Except the unfortunate part is that however easy these things may sound, it is harder for people to execute them. I cannot tell you how many times people say, yeah, sure, but it's easier said than done. Here's the thing, people don't like change because they're comfortable where they're at. And so if you've been with someone, been in a relationship with them, whether it's platonic or romantic, there is a sort of comfort and peace in knowing that you all have spent this time together. And so I understand if it's not as easy as, oh yeah, we are in an emotionally abusive relationship, but I don't want to leave because I love him or I love her or whatever. That's why I'm going to get into some ways on how to really execute this and how you can actually begin to start this process instead of me just throwing things at you and telling you to do them. So one, and this is where you have to start at, is that it has to come from within you. You want to, or you need to want change. If you don't want the change, then it won't happen. So that's not something I can make you feel. That's not something I can give to you. That's something that has to come from within you. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. And it has to take time from then. But you have to know that you deserve better. I mean, you have to know that if I'm only living my life once, this is the only life I have, why would I waste my time, precious time, because that's something you can't ever get back. Why would I waste my time on someone or in a relationship that's like harming me more than it's benefiting me? That doesn't make any sense, does it? Right? It doesn't, because you know better and you deserve better. And you should want better for yourself, right? I mean, so when you're in this toxic relationship, that should be your driving force to leave, is that no matter how comfortable it feels or no matter how comfortable you feel in it, or you don't want change or you don't like change, it's necessary. And I remember I saw this TikTok and this woman, I'll kind of paraphrase what she was saying, but she was essentially saying like, you can't stay in a relationship or stay in an abusive relationship, or she was kind of analyzing it or comparing it to having your hand on a burning stove. You can't keep your hand on the burning stove while it's burning and keep saying ow and then don't move your hand. That's not how change works. That's not how being happy works. That's not how getting out of a relationship works. So you have to want it for yourself, not for anyone else, but for you. Know that you deserve better so that you can do better. And we can cut off these toxic relationships, period. I hope that this helped y'all, anyone that was experiencing any of these things. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day, really, truly. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I will see y'all again next week with another video. I love y'all. Let me know what you think. Comment, DM me. I'm always down to talk, and I'll see y'all next week.